We've been living here for almost 2 decades, building this place and learning a lot. Sharing with people about the regenerative and sustainable designs and practices that we've learned have worked for us. It's primarily a low-tech DIY type project. A main focus for us is trying to meet as many of our needs as possible without supporting the extractive, industrial, consumer culture-based economy that's causing so much harm to our planet.
The greenhouse design workshop was just perfect timing. Things come at certain times, and this kind of workshop is very needed at this time with everything that we're facing here on Mother Earth.
Developing local food systems is really important. We don't want to be dependent on food that comes from really far away, and the globalized markets make people dependent on risky food supply chains. We're working on restoring beneficial relationships with all of the elements here in this place and all of the creatures that we share this habitat with.
There is a strong history of greenhouses being used in New Mexico. Many people do it. I've been part of the Solar Energy Association, so it's more the passive applications of sunrooms to homes to supplement not only the food, the moisture, the beauty, but also the energy of the house. And in this climate with global warming and things warming up, it is very hard to grow outside. With all the insects and animals, from rabbits and squirrels, so much easier inside. And I've seen some wonderful, wonderful applications of sunrooms, and I think more and more people will be utilizing them, especially for food production.
So this year we've started construction on our third greenhouse here on site. It's a different design from our others, and it's going to provide a space for different kinds of food production. I've been determined to make it a teaching tool from the start. After having gardened in and managed several greenhouses over the years, I've developed a level of understanding about what needs to be paid attention to in order to design a good greenhouse space. And it's really about the relationship with the sun and the light that comes from the sun and the heat, and then the wind and air circulation and the soil and the plants. So we have 3 greenhouses on site, and they have very different qualities and can grow different kinds of plants. So this is the hoop house. It's actually a high tunnel greenhouse. Most of the space in here is reserved for propagation tables, where we grow veggie seedlings to sell our community in the spring. And then we have some space in here for our garden as well. The things that grow well in here are all the different kinds of leafy greens and different herbs. It also catches the rain, and we use that water to water our plants inside. This attached greenhouse is connected to our home, and it is part of the solar heating for the home through the winter. It's also a very nice place to hang out during the winter. This is where I start all the flats for the seedlings for my spring plant sale fundraisers. This bed processes the gray water from my house, And then we have a solar oven connected too, so we don't have to go outside. It's pretty deluxe. So after having studied passive solar design and then built my own passive solar home and greenhouse and lived in my solar designs for a number of years, I knew what I wanted for this space. It's sunken into the ground 3 feet. It's got insulation all around. It's got insulation on the north wall and part of the roof. It's going to be a good space for growing some fruit-producing vegetables like tomatoes, cucumbers. I'm looking forward to getting a fig tree in here, and it would be good for other subtropical type plants. I have a dwarf pomegranate tree and a dwarf lemon tree that would both, I bet, do really well in here. I'm also integrating some DIY designs that are going to help keep the place warm and frost-free in the winter and help keep it cool in the summer. And those are still in the design phase. There's a lot of reasons why you might want a greenhouse. Each person's going to be different, and their design for their optimal greenhouse is going to be different. Sometimes it's all about a season extension. It could be about creating a frost-free growing space and keeping the rodents out. Also making a nice winter living environment. Each person's design is going to look different depending on their own lifestyle and habitat, location, and their goals.
Today was a really good workshop. We had a lot of very useful information, all the formulas that she gave us to work with, all the resources, the different books that she gave us that we can use in the future, and very interesting to walk around the property and see 3 different types of greenhouse going on. So yeah, it's been really informative and really enjoyable, and I can't wait to see how the greenhouse that's in the works develops over time.
I definitely feel more confident after learning. There's so much that I was unaware of that I know I need to factor into the building of the greenhouse. I think the biggest thing is just to do it rather than making it overcomplicated in the mind and worrying about so many different things. It's like, yes, take that all into consideration, but really it's like just get it going and you'll learn things along the way. There's always
I've been thinking about using salvage materials to create a greenhouse for my mom, for my family, to have more greens. We usually plant in the earth to extend the growing season. It was fun to meet other like-minded people, to be on the land here with Amanda and to see what she's done. It gave me a lot of confidence. It gave me a lot of ideas. So we not just talked about it, but we sat together and began the early stages of just thinking and planning. And sometimes we can get stuck in that and we'd never get to doing it. And so I'm ready to get home and do something with that salvage stuff.